Well, good evening, my friends. Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with another live CGC unboxing. That's right, guys. It just seems every week, never ending. Like clockwork, CGC books are falling from the heavens to my place right here in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And that is where I'm coming to you live from. Guys, I got one box to share with you tonight. All kinds of goodies in here. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the MCU. We haven't talked entertainment much lately, so I thought we'd come on here and chat together about the MCU. So as we're going through these comics, start thinking, are there any MCU projects that are coming up in the near future that you're excited about? And we'll talk about maybe what's happening this week in the world of comic book movies as well, too. We will see. Guys, if you're new here, I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. Like I said, I do live CGC unboxings every single Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These are not my books. These are books that belong to my clients, you guys. And I unbox them as they come back. At which time, once I've finished doing that, we then sort them. And I contact you to come pick them up in my office in Oshawa. Or if you are long distance, then I will arrange to have them packed and sent to you wherever you might be, all over North America. Clients in the United States, all over the United States. We have clients all over Canada. And but most of my clients, let's be honest, are right here in the Greater Toronto area. And that's okay. All right, let's get going, guys. And I already see people are in the chat room. So if you want to participate in this chat too, by the way, guys, if you have any questions for me, if you have any questions about comic book collecting, comic book pressing, CGC grading, anything to do with all that, hit the subscribe button and you can join in the chat as well and ask your questions. I don't charge a darn thing for that. Just come on and get involved and join in the fun. Okay, overhead cam, where are you? There it is. Okay, so first book. X-Men number 133 in an 8.5. We also have a copy of Grand Slam Comics from 1942. From 1942. Right there in a 5.0. Oftentimes, at this time, due to the war effort, you'd only see sometimes a single staple. And the single staple is quite common around in wartime Golden Age books because they were conserving metal and steel for the war effort. But this one has two staples. That's okay. We got a Swamp Thing number 6 in a 9.0. We have a JSA copy of Pathfinder, signed by Jim Zub and Andrew Herrera, in a 9.4. And we're seeing these, I got a whole ton of awesome JSA books coming up as well too, guys. But boy, oh boy, I don't know why CGC waited so long to do this service, because almost every submission I do now has some kind of JSA book involved. A copy of 130, X-Men, first appearance of Dazzler, newsstand copy in an 8.5. We also have an X-Men number 129, first appearance of Kitty Pryde, also in a 7.5, not also in a 7.5, but in a 7.5, and my stack is getting high. So what I'm going to do is I'll do one more, and I'll go over to the chat room as I pack these babies away. We have an X-Men 266, first appearance of Gambit in a 9.6, and I think that's as tall as I can let the stack go. I've got a few more X-Men books in the wings here, waiting in the wings. Let me go over to the chat room. Chat room is where? Chat window. No, that's not it. Chat room. Sorry, guys. I had it all ready for you. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, going over. Oh, John's the first one in the house. How you doing, John Sherwood? Good to see you, my friend. Treasury Editions here. Evening to you. Winston's here. How you doing, Winston? Good to see you. John Turchi's here. Hello. Eric McGowan, evening, right back at you. And Eric Williams says, evening. I'll ask the obligatory, hey, what month are you guys pressing? I'll have to catch this one later. Enjoy, everyone. Well, yeah, we are in August still. We are in mid to late August. We are just getting to Fan Expo normal books, like the non-signature series books. I am still behind on CGC grading. Today was, so aggravating. I had the whole afternoon ready to do more CGC entries, and I started an entry yesterday, and this is, if Luke comes on here, this is all Luke's fault. He had me sign those, or get those Trailer Park Boys to sign, and not the regular three guys, the three of the, I guess the co-stars of the show, and they were not on CGC's celebrity list. So when I went to enter their names, they weren't there. So I had to contact CGC's Signature Series and say, hey guys, can you please enter these names? Been waiting since yesterday to do this. I thought when I got to the shop today, they would have already done it, and they didn't. So I got there and I couldn't do any more submitting because I had already started a huge submission. And if I would have closed it or deleted it, I would lose all the work I already did yesterday. Plus, I have a lot of, it's hard to explain, but a lot of folders were connected to that, so I'm trying to keep it all organized, so deleting it would have been a nightmare. So I'm still waiting for CGC to do that for me. I hope they'll do that tonight because I want to get this work done, guys. I got to get all the London Comic Con Eastman signatures out. Most are already packed and ready to go. I have to also do the Hamilton Comic Con signatures. Most of those are ready to go as well. And that's it. I'm so happy the Signature Series events are over because my God, that was a lot of work. Who else is here? Paul's here. How you doing, Paul? Good to see you. Trevor's here. Hey, Doc. Good to see you. You too as well, Trev. Eric says, X-Men, been waiting for the MCU version since Disney bought 20th Century Fox. So we'll talk about that in just a few moments. Dave House is here. Hey, everyone. Excited to see the books tonight. Geez, Dave, you know what's funny? We were going through our safe yesterday, and yeah, I think it's time. And you know what I'm talking about. But I'm glad we waited, and I'll talk to you about that off camera. Dave submitted a book last October, a pretty good book, a pretty big book that he wanted us to do some fun work to, and I was very hesitant about it, but I think now we are ready and able. So, and I'll give you information on that later, Dave. Canada Comic Guy, happy Tuesday to get right back at you. Treasury Edition. Last week, one of my books came back in a cracked magazine slab. Just wondering how long the turnaround generally takes for CGC to redo it. Not too bad. Not too bad. I know I sent a couple of magazines back about a month ago, and they're already on their way back to my customer in, I think it's Calgary. Now, understand something, and the way I used to do mechanical errors was I used to have them come back to me, and then I would, but no, CGC pays to ship those back to clients. It's an amazing service. Guys, again, you can knock CGC all you like, but they do some things right. And, you know, like, I'll tell you, the first book here, this one here had a little crack on the side. I don't know if they're going to fix this one or not. It's right. You see that crack right there? Right there. It's inside the slab. It's like the slab's not actually cracked. But anyways, I might try to do an ME on that as well. And what's beautiful is once it gets to CGC, they'll reslab it and they'll ship it directly back to you. Not to me, to you. So it saves me all the hassle of reorganizing it again and having to follow the paperwork. All I do is stick your mechanical error form in your dossier, and then CGC takes care of the rest. So it's been really great. But to answer your question, I haven't sent a submission since last week. I'm really behind. I have, which one was your magazine? I'm curious. I think it's over there still, but it should be going out this week. Hopefully this week. But once it gets there, 3-4 weeks, you should get it back. Treasury Edition. Oh, that was you, Adam. How you doing, Adam? Good to see you. Danon's here. I'll hail the doc. Thank you so much. Raphael one, I think. Yeah, I think you're right. It's over there. It's going though. It's all the paperwork's done. And it's ready to go. I just haven't had the chance to ship anything yet. Okay, let's keep going, guys. We got another X-Men book, a 101 and an 8.0. Hope you're in an X-Men kind of mood today because we got quite a few. We have a giant size X-Men number 1. Just checking the slabs out in a 7.5. Nothing wrong with that. A very early X-Men. This is quite the X-Men order here. X-Men number 2 and a 2.0. Oh, come on, get on there. And then we have another X-Men number 141, another newsstand copy, and a 7.0. All right. And yeah, we got quite a few 9.8s coming up, guys. I did sneak peek this one. We have a 9.8 copy. And I know one of this belongs to Carlo, and I think the other one belongs to Phil, I believe. I'm not even sure. I think Phil got a 9.8. I haven't checked his dossier yet, but they upcharged him. Whenever I have an ASM 300 like this, generally speaking, if it's a 7.5 or up, or it's going to get a 7.5 or up, I usually send it under the high value. And I tell my clients that if you're high value, if they send another invoice bumping it from high value to unlimited value, well, guess what? Yeah, you're paying another $150 or so, but guess what? You're probably getting a 9.8. Now, Winston's on here, and if you watched the show last week, and if you look at my Instagram, Winston has 2 JSA, beautiful copies of ASM 300, signed by Todd McFarlane. I put those unlimited right off the bat. I was so certain that they were going to come back 9.8. Guys, I've been doing this for a while. And so they did. So that was quite good. But this one here, and the other one that you're going to see, I put down as unlimited, just in case it came back in, or sorry, I put it as a high value, just in case they came back 9.6s, you know, they wouldn't have bumped it to, you know, they wouldn't have bumped it to the next tier. Anyways, this one here, they did give me an additional charge because it jumped up to a 9.8. So congratulations to Carlo for sure. I know I saw his. And then we also have an ASM number 6, awesome cover. First appearance of Lizard in 6.0, or sorry, 4.0. 4.0. And we also have a first appearance of Sandman, also in a 4.0. Very nice copies here, guys. Right there. All right. Okay, I think my stack is high. I'll go back to this to the chat really quick. If you guys haven't done so already, guys, please consider hitting that like button. It does help the analytics here on the channel as I try to bring on more people to join in the fun. GTA lady's back. How you doing? Yes, I know you're a fan of the X-Men. And Eric also echoes that sentiment. He also enjoys X-Men books. Glad to hear it. And we will be talking about, really quickly, about the MCU and what's coming up. And I'm going to go over all the next maybe 5 or 6 huge movies we're going to talk about, which ones I'm excited about, or maybe not so excited about. And I want to know what you think. Which ones are you excited about or not so excited about? I can tell you this much. When it comes to the Disney Plus stuff, I think I've checked out. Jack, my son, actually watched Agatha and didn't seem to mind it, but I haven't had the desire to jump into that. Trevor says, I'm hearing others are still having Bengate issues. Have you run into any more? Well, I haven't seen anything today. I haven't ran into today, so yeah. There are some that are really worse than others. That's for darn sure. But again, unless the book is really, really bad, they're probably not going to do anything about it, to be quite honest. All right, let's keep going here. Another ASM 300. This one is from the same order as the ASM number 4 and number 6. So if you submitted an ASM 4, an ASM 6, and an ASM 300, then this is probably yours. A 9.6 copy. Oh, and now we have a cool JSA. And got a cool JSA. JSA Amazing Spider-Man number 12 and a 7.5. Signed by Stan the Man Lee. Nice grade, nice copy. And here's a stinker right here. Not liking this. Can I see it? And why didn't I see it? And I didn't see it. We didn't catch it. This book, sometimes oh, son of a gun, I do see it. Shoot. ASM 300, 9.2, came back, color touch. And I can see a little color touch there now that so when the owner gets this, we'll have a little conversation with him. I might send that one back. I'll try to remove the color touch and send that back on me because that we should have saw that. That's pretty freaking glaring. That's pretty freaking glaring. But sometimes it's hard to see. I'm going to be honest. Sometimes it is hard to see. And if we're not looking for it and we're just pumping away, pumping these books out, trying our best to get them done quickly and efficiently, but also keep it going, not losing any quality. But then look at this. It's right by the black corner. That's why we missed it. But anyways, like I said, when the owner comes to pick this one up, I'll offer to crack it and resend this in for him on the house, because that's pretty shitty. Yeah. Anyways, it's usually on these books. You want to check the corners. We just did one for another dealer. Actually, gave me what do you call it? A restored copy, and it was down at the bottom where there was some color touch, and it had been graded years ago. So we had to take the corner of the copy of the corner of the book out, and then we had to also remove some of the inner pages as well, that the ink had spilled into it. Now, that being said, if we go in here, we're gonna have to sand. Oops, sorry about that. We're gonna have to like remove that corner, and if the black has leaked into the inner pages, we're going to have to remove those too, and that may affect the grade, right? It may affect this grade. It may become a blue label, but it might drop down to an 8.5. So hey, look, if the owner likes the 9.2 the way it is, then so be it. Yeah, and I also don't have the paperwork here. They may have known this was color touched. I don't know. I have to look at the paperwork. I'm just looking at this stuff, like I said, as it comes out of the box. So I'm kind of going raw here. Okay, we also have another ASM 300. Holy cow. And this one here is, I think, either Carlo's or Phil's. Like I said, 9.8, another 9.8 newsstand copy, which is pretty awesome. So congratulations to you. And now we're jumping into lots of 9.8s and lots of JSA. These are pretty cool now. Let me, you know what? Let me clean these up really quick so I have room for these JSA books. And I believe these, actually, I'm not sure who these belong to, so I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say, because I'm not 100% sure. But Spartacus 204 says, question about how does foxing affect the grade? I have an ASM 194, has 3 color breaking ticks, but it's foxing on the back cover. I know you can do the UV treatment. Is it worth it? Well, yeah, I would say no. I would say no. And I'll tell you why I say no. So, and this is a really important question. I'm going to go to the full screen here while I talk about this. And I'm actually going to look up a price sheet that Nupur has given me recently. And I haven't had a chance to put this on the website yet, but it is coming. We are going to start offering, let's say, conservation services. We already do offer conservation service, but we're not pumping it really hard yet, but we're going to start very, very soon. Let me just give you an example of what the costs are going to be. If I can find her message to me, and I'm pretty sure I can. Give me one quick second here. Let's see. Message. Oh, no. Oh, there she is. Okay, so let's see what she says. So, yeah, here it is. Okay, so we can do a whole variety of things, and I'm going to list on the website very, very soon what we're going to offer. But you were asking specifically, Spartacus, about, I got to call it light therapy. Let's call it light therapy. One side of the cover is $60. To do both covers, like front and back, it's $100 for books up to $3,000. So that ASM 194 would fit there. But the question is this: when does it become? It's the same thing as pressing. It's the same thing as grading the books. Is it worth it? You have to really sit back and look at the book and say, okay, if I do light therapy, if I do any conservation service on this, plus I'm going to press the book, plus I'm going to grade the book, and now I'm going to send the book out to CGC. Is it worth it? Right? And with light therapy, so far so good. We haven't been snagged yet. There's always that chance the book could be tagged and receive a purple label or a blue label with a conserved stripe. So Spartacus, I think that I love me some light therapy. I think it really is on a case by case basis, and there's also a certain degree of gambling involved. Last week, if you go and watch last week's show, we had an ASM 129. Well, that book enjoyed some Comic Doctor light therapy. And it went from, I can show you because I have a picture of it right here. I'm going to put this on my Instagram very soon. I wasn't sure it was the book until I was sorting the books yesterday. Remember, my daughter's at university now, so the Comic Doctor now has to sort all the books as well. So, like I have enough time in the day as it is. But anyways, I was so happy to discover that it was Alan Jay's book. Let me see if I can find it really quick for you right here. And there it is. Terrible picture. Is it gonna hold on right there. There we go. Right there. Boy, I need a manicure. The book came and it had some foxing along the spine. It had some foxing on the back. And I gave it to Nupur, and she did some very, very, very conservative light therapy. I do like the sounds of that. And look at that. It jumped up from 7.5 to an 8.5. Right? Now it's an ASM 129. It makes sense, right? That book went up with over $1,000 by doing that. So it makes sense. But at 194, that's the question. I don't, to answer your question, Spartacus, that's when you got to do the research. How much money do you have in the book already? How much more is it going to cost? And what are the chances where do you think it's going to end up? And then you got to determine whether or not it's worth doing. And that's with any book you do. But again, for light therapy, let's see here. You're talking, one cover is 60. Both covers is 100 for books up to 3,000. We can also do localized lightning. If you have a spot, but it doesn't always work, it has to be the right candidate, and that's $35. Yeah, we could do all kinds of stuff. and some of the stuff I'm not going to talk about, to be honest. I probably won't post everything we're doing. But yeah. What else? Let's see. Anything else? We could do, we can do staple tear repairs. Deacidification is a huge one. We're doing that. Deacidification, for example, for a comic under $3,000 for the cover is $150. Where we deacify the book, just the cover, sorry, it's $150. If you want every single page done, it's $75 per page, like per folio. But we'll give a discount for multiples. So if you end up doing a whole book, we'll give you a custom deal. To be honest, B-led light therapy is a little less aggressive. We are very conservative. We don't overdo it. And that's the key. That's the key. You have to know when to stop. And unfortunately, a lot of guys who are doing this thing get really excited when they see the covers getting lighter and lighter and lighter, and they take it just a little too far. Sometimes you want it to have sometimes you don't want the book to be perfect, if that makes any sense. Anyways, all right, let's keep going. I got more books, and then we got to talk about the MCU. All right. So we're going to start with some amazing JSA signed books. We got, and these are all signed by Todd McFarlane on page 1. So you're not even going to see the signature, which is kind of a shame. But here we go. We got a 298. We have a 298 in a 9.8. We got a 299. Or sorry, a 301. And these are books you never, like a 301. When do you ever see a 301 and a 9.8? These are hard books to get in a 9.8. We got a Todd McFarlane signed front cover, a Spider-Man number 1. This one has kind of a banana look to it. It's not damaged, but it does seem like this one does seem like it has a bit of a warp in it. Yeah, if you can see it. It's hard to see, but this one seems like it's a bit warped to me, but it's not terrible. Anyways, Todd McFarlane signed Todd signed the front of this one. He also signed the front of this one. And there's more. There's more. Don't go anywhere. Look at this. We have another way. We got a Marvel Secret Wars number 8, of course. John Beatty and Mike Zeck authenticated autographs on page 1. 9.8. 9.8. And then with 3 more. Hulk 340. It's a book we've seen here a lot, especially since the Deadpool movie came out. 9.8. And it's signed by Todd on page 1 as well. And then we have 299. Got to have another 299, and that's a 9.8 as well. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And then we finally have another one. It's kind of boring, kind of a boring end. I do apologize. But we got a Spider-Man number 1, another one. This one looks actually quite much nicer, and that's also in a 9.8. So a whole bunch of those beautiful 9.8 JSA books. I'm not sure. Are these are, I think these belong to Winston. Are these yours? Oh, they are Winston. Look at that. Winston, man, I tell you. You know, guys, Winston submitted these books. These go with Winston's 2 ASM 300s that came in last week. And I'm going to tell you, the whole order, they all had very minor little defects, nothing that you're going to write home about. These were some of the most beautiful books I've seen in a very long time. Napur and I are looking at them going, oh, she was pressing them, I was reviewing them, and we're like, these books are freaking amazing. This is gonna go, we didn't pre-screen these. There's no need to pre-screen these. These were gorgeous, and they all came back 9.8 as we thought they would. 9.8 jackpot. Winston, congratulations, my friend. Let's see what else is going on over there. Justin, hey Justin, I think collectors will eventually become more positive on proper conservation, but only for meaningful golden age and silver age keys. Well, we're not there yet. Restoration is still considered a bad word, and because of that, you know, people are very hesitant. But I'm going to tell you, the more I look at old books like, say, Superman #1 or these really high valued golden age books like a Batman 1 or something like that, why not buy a restored copy? Right? If it's done properly, that is. I'm starting to lean more towards that, to be honest with you. So, yeah, but I think I agree with you, Justin, to a certain extent. I personally don't mind the conservation label. No, as long as it's done right, what's wrong with that, right? Now, you have a beautiful copy of Fantastic Four 5 at the shop, and I know you're thinking about doing it, like having it deacidified, and the big problem with that book in particular, what Napur is very nervous about, is the book's already got some splitting going along the spine. So when you deacify a book, it's I wouldn't say it's aggressive, but you are putting the book through the ringer. So the book has to be stable in terms of how it's put together. Now she can repair those tears, but that it's 100% going to come back conserved. 100, and it might even get a purple label. I don't know. Depends how she does it, I suppose. But it's something to certainly talk about, and we will talk about it. Troy said, hey Kevin, can I send you some magazines for pre-screening to see if it'd be worth getting cleaned and pressed? Of course you can, Troy. Anytime. I'm at the shop on Saturday, this Saturday from 11 till 2. If you're in the area, come on by. Wow, those are nice books. Dannon, tell me about it. Winston sure knows how to pick them. Let me tell you. All right. That's it. I got one box, guys, and I've got a ton more coming. And I've got another probably 200 to 300 books I got to ship to CGC. I don't have time to do all this. I build most people. I've got maybe 4 or 5 outstanding invoices I haven't sent yet, but I'm pretty much caught up. Kind of catching my breath. I'm glad there's no more shows, because boy, oh boy, doing shows on the weekends really takes it out of you. Let's go to the main camera really quick and let's talk about some of the upcoming MCU projects. Let's face it, guys. We haven't been getting a lot of how can I say this? Whether it's MCU or Star Wars, I haven't been very excited about anything that's been coming out. I saw the Thunderbolts trailer that dropped a few days ago, and I'm going to be honest, I kind of liked it. That being said, it's a trailer. We've been tricked before, have we not? And so let's go over and look at some of the different movies that are coming out. And I don't know if this is the first one to come out or not. Let's see, is this the first one? Yeah, yeah, it is. First one is right here. Captain America, the next Captain America installment. And, you know, with Red Hulk and Harrison Ford taking over for William Hurt as Thunderbolt Ross. I like Red Hulk. I've been a fan of Red Hulk. You know, I'm kind of tired of seeing, what's his name? Gus Fring as a villain in every single frigging property. Like, there's no other actors out there. He seems like a really nice guy. What's the actor's name? He plays Gus Fring from Breaking Bad. You know, he seems to be the antagonist in most every property that's out there now. He's branched everywhere, and they bring him back again. He looks cool in this, but again, I don't know. I'm hearing from friends of mine that are kind of, I don't know if they're in the know or not, but those that have their ear to the ground are saying that it's not getting great. People are not very, and the inside are not very excited about this one. So I'm a little nervous about that. I mean, a Captain America movie without Steve Rogers, I don't know. I don't know if I really want to watch that or not. Giancarlo Esposito, thanks, Treasury. I appreciate it. And I like Giancarlo Esposito as an actor, you know, all the way from Do the Right Thing. I think he was in that movie. With Spike Lee, that's where he got to start, I think. And I don't know. I just, you know, maybe give some other guys a shot, you know. So anyways, here we go. I mean, coming out of Deadpool and Wolverine, which was a massive hit, as we all know, still making money at the box office. I think it's going to be released on streaming in a week or two. And they're offering, I think, behind the scenes stuff and some extra scenes and all that sort of thing. It's going to continue to make some more money for Disney. But is this one going to be a strong follow-up? I am not sure about this. I'm a little nervous about this one. Next, we have, like I said, the Thunderbolts. And, even that poster that you see right here is kind of fun. They're all kind of in each other's faces. The guns are all over the place. They're crammed in there. I was not a fan of most of these characters. I mean, the only two characters I really enjoyed in this troop here are Red Guardian and Winter Soldier, and I don't mind Yelena Belova. I don't mind her either, but the other characters, Ghost, whatever, and Taskmaster, they ruined. I don't really care for that either, and I'm not a super huge fan of Bill Pullman's son, and I think he's playing the Sentry, so I don't know. Who knows? It could be fun. I did enjoy the trailer. What did you think of the trailer? Did you see it? I'm more inclined to like this one than the Captain America film. So I'm optimistic more about this one. I really hope it's going to be good. And let's face it, I'm going to go see all of these movies. I just tuned out of the Disney Plus stuff. I've had enough of it. I just can't watch it anymore. So anyways, so what do you guys think of this one? So how do you remove fingerprints from a comic? I have a feeling that CGC blue lights comics and stops giving 9, 9, 10 due to fingerprints. What kind of fingerprints are you talking about? Because there's different kind. If you're talking about a smudge, like you often see those on the back of Wolverine #1 from 1988. Those can be buffed out usually. But there are fingerprints that are permanent. You're never going to remove. And those fingerprints are usually, you see them a lot on yellow covers. I see them a lot on, what do you call it? ASM 129. I see them a lot on Wolverine 1 again to make. So basically what's happening, you got dirty fingers and you read your comic book. I'm not saying you do that now, of course, but I mean, back in the day, a kid, rides his bike to the comic store, goes outside and his hands are all sweaty from riding his bike and he grabs the comic book. Well, that sweat acts as a stripper, as a chemical stripper, and it actually strips the ink right off the book. So if you've got a white fingerprint, that probably means that the ink was removed by the oils on the person's finger. So that can't be fixed. That's on there permanently. If you've got black fingerprints, like black ink finger, that's dirt usually, or it's ink from the book, and then it's been put back onto the book with greasy fingers or oily fingers, and those are tricky to get out. Again, depending on how severe it is, sometimes it can be minimized, sometimes it can be removed completely. But oftentimes with those, especially if they're on dark covers, you're gonna see the ink lighten up as well too. But if it's a smudge, smudges usually come right off. So yeah, you shouldn't have to use any blue light tricks to get rid of fingerprints. That's we don't anyways. Dan says, oh, sorry. So far, I'm enjoying Agatha. Have you watched Andor? Looking forward to Star Wars Skeleton Crew. I have not watched Agatha. Like I said, my son has watched it. I may jump in, but I'll be honest, I was not a fan of Catherine Hahn. She's an actress. There's certain people you just don't really want to watch on TV or in the movies. They kind of just get under your skin a little bit. That actress kind of does that to me. I didn't care for her in WandaVision, so to put a whole series around her for me wasn't something I was particularly looking forward to. I mean, if it ends and it gets amazing, everyone's talking highly about it, maybe I'll jump in, but I probably won't. But I'm glad you're liking it. That's fine. I'm glad my son's liking it too. As for Andor, I did watch it, a little bit slow, but I liked it. I did like Andor. And Skeleton Crew, we'll see. Star Wars is just, I don't know. Dannon says, if that were up to me, I would be full steam ahead on X-Men and Fantastic Four and the MCU. No more minor characters that no one cares about, and the Marvel team-up Disney shows like Daredevil and Spidey. Hey, man, I'm kind of with you on that. I don't know what the hell's taking so long with his X-Men. The Fantastic Four, they're taking forever to get there as well. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm with you on that, but they got to be very careful because if they just jump into it haphazardly, perhaps it's going to be a big mess. And I'm kind of nervous it's going to be a big mess. I still don't have faith that Fantastic Four is going to be good. I'm very, very nervous with the whole thing. And what are they gonna do with the X-Men now? So is it a different X-Men, or the same X-Men? Are we gonna have the same Deadpool, a different Deadpool, a new? I heard Logan's coming back again. I heard Hugh Jackman's gonna come back for 3 more movies. So I mean, like, what's going on here? Are we ever gonna start the new X-Men franchise? You know, Kelsey Grammer's apparently really hip and really want to do it as well. So what's gonna happen? Are we gonna pick and choose who we want? It's very confusing. Dan says, also, the fact that Disney didn't do a 6-part show on Steve Rogers returning the Infinity Stones was a huge, 100% it was a huge miss. That could have been a movie, actually. You know what I mean? They could have done something great with that, and they didn't. Justin says, I'm looking forward to the Daredevil series. Again, when it comes to Disney Plus, I'm very, very skeptical. They've already had to do a whole bunch of rewrites on that one. So I'm nervous about that too. Will I watch it? Sure, I'll watch it. But what they did with Daredevil and the She-Hulk show, didn't like that too much. So we'll see. Adam says, just wondering if one of my JSA submissions came in last week, Batman 608, and the second book hasn't come back yet, 111. Is it odd they didn't ship back together, assuming Batman 608 was mine? X-Men 111, that's a modern book, right? It might not have been yours, Adam. I'm not sure. I'd have to check. But yeah, they probably would have went together, and without your actual invoice in front of me, I have a hard time checking. But I can check later. If you give me a text or something like that, I'll try to I'll pull out your invoice and have a closer look. But generally speaking, if they're both moderns, yeah, they should come back together. But you know what? I have received books separately. That has happened from time to time. Not very often, but it has happened. Trevor, I find there's so much info leading up to these movies now that by the time they come out, I don't feel interested anymore. Yeah, spoilers and they give out a lot of information. You're right. Daredevil, when it was on Netflix, was amazing. It was very good. I remember just that hallway fight. The hallway fight was brilliant in Daredevil. It was episode 2, I think, when he went to save that kidnapped kid. Unbelievable. Punisher was pretty good too. Adam, no problem. Okay, let's keep going. So Thunderbolts, what's after Thunderbolts? I think we have the Fantastic Four. And again, not a lot of information about where this is taking. This is obviously taking place on a different universe. This is not happening in the MCU proper that we know. This is happening in a different universe, and I think they are going to somehow be sprung upon us or be brought into our universe at the end of this movie. I assume that the Doctor Doom, what's his name, Robert Downey Jr. is going to come from this universe. And they'll follow him to wherever, I guess. But who knows? I like all the actors they've chosen. Even again, similar to Esposito, you have what's his face? They're Mandalorian and everything. It's like, can they not? There's no other actors out there. They have to pick the exact same guys to be in all these movies and TV shows. There's a lot of hungry, starving actors out there. Let's give some unknowns a shot. Maybe I was watching Penguin, which is actually pretty good, guys. Pretty good. You know, I'm seeing all these second tier actors that are in this movie. I'm like, well, why'd you have to hire these second tier actors? These are actors that no one cares if they're in this show or not. It's, you know, so why not hire some unknowns, like some unknown actors, give them a break. I don't understand why having kind of a B tier dude playing, you know, the second gangster on the right was necessary. You had to pay him more, first of all, and no one cares if this guy's in the movie or not, or the TV show. So give an unknown a chance and give an unknown a break, you know? Even Chris Evans was kind of all these guys were kind of unknowns, other than Robert Downey Jr. when the franchises all came out. Justin, he agrees with you, Dannon. My understanding is that it's supposed to lead up to the Secret Wars, right? Yeah, 100%, which is where we're going to go next. So, Fantastic Four, I love the whole 1960s motif, even the look of the logo, and I think that this world is going to be kind of a hybrid, modern world, 1960s world, which is cool. Again, I dig all the actors that are coming out for this, even Pedro Pascal, who's overused as well. Excited to see them in this project. It's been a long time coming. The other two Fantastic Four films that came out through Fox were not well received. The first one had a sequel with the Silver Surfer, which wasn't bad. The only thing with this one, too, guys, remember, we're getting a Silver Surfer who is not the Silver Surfer, not Norrin Radd. We're going to get Norrin Radd's old lady in this. So, you know, again, why they're making these types of changes, I never understand that, but what do I know? But excited to see it nonetheless. Winston says, there were 2 Amazing Spider-Man 316 with that submission. Was it there? Nope. Maybe it's coming in the next box. Oh, were they signature series as well, or were they just no signature series? Were they JSAs or no JSAs? Because if they were not JSA, they'll come in a different invoice. Okay, what's after the Fantastic Four here? We have Blade, which is it going to be? Is it even going to happen? This show has been riddled with problems. It's been rewritten and postponed. And so whether we get a Blade or not, and whether Mahershala Ali is going to stay Blade, I mean, he's getting older and older and older and older. And I know they don't like to hire 55-year-old guys to be their heroes because they age out. You know, I don't know why they just didn't keep, Wesley Snipes. Why not? He was good, and he really loves playing the part. But no, I'm really looking forward to Mahershala Ali. I really like Mahershala Ali in the Luke Cage show. He was fantastic in that. I was so upset when he died. But Blade, again, I dig it. I like what they're doing with it. But then Blade is also connected to the Eternals, right? With the what was his name? The Black Knight there. With what's his name there? Jon Snow. Are they going to even bother with that? Are they going to throw that out? Who knows? So Blade, to me, I'm not sure it's even going to happen. It's still on their roster, but is it going to happen? Don't know. And then finally, we get into the Avengers again, Avengers Secret Wars. And I'm pretty sure this is not going to be anything like the Secret Wars, either of the Secret Wars books that we all know. I think it's going to be a very unique storyline that is being told by them. And yeah, look, it takes one win, guys. Deadpool and Wolverine was a super success. Everyone got excited again. The buzz was there. I was at San Diego Comic-Con the week it premiered, and there was a buzz in the air, and everyone was so excited that these shows were back and that they're Marvel back to form in a way, right? Let's hope they can hang on to it now. Let's hope they can hang on to it. Am I excited? Damn right, I'm excited. I miss being excited for these movies to come out. But you know what? I also get disappointed very easy. And if I go to see these, and they're no good, then I'm gonna jump off that bandwagon very, 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 very quickly. Daredevil gave me, I keep saying Daredevil. Deadpool gave me a lot of hope, but then I hear from my friends that are down in Los Angeles that the what do you call it? The Captain America is not really well received amongst those that have seen it. They're not really loving it. They're not digging it. I get nervous, man. And then, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not convinced Blade is even going to happen. Dan, I agree with you. Yeah, not science. They're a different invoice than Winston, so they'll come. Don't worry. Dan says, I heard everything associated with Eternals was scrapped. Oh, wow. That's it, eh? We need Avengers versus X-Men with current casts, but soon. Yeah, I really think, sometimes these studios got to stop being so damn greedy. They were at such a high when Endgame ended. Came out. It was such a fantastic experience at the movies, and people generally liked it. It got good reviews across the board. Very rare you would see somebody say they didn't like it. They loved it. And to then go into Captain Marvel and then just a whole downward spiral. The only good one that came out was it was a Spider-Man No Way Home. That was fantastic too. But other than that, the rest were really subpar compared to what they were doing. I really think that Disney Plus was one of the big problems with this, because I think the focus, and I think it was what's his name, Kevin Feige, was being stretched and spread out too thin. There's only so much someone can do, but when the powers that be want you to create television shows to go along with the movie properties you have, and they want them all to connect and be, it was just too much. It was too much, and they watered down the IPs. They watered down the stories. The TV series just seemed so cheap and shitty. The writing was stupid in comparison to what we got. It was just not a good experience, and it hurt the Disney Plus. It hurt the shows on Disney Plus, and it hurt the box office too. It hurt the actual movies, because people are like, it's all gone down the toilet. And again, I think the same thing can be said for Star Wars, although Star Wars is not I don't think Star Wars has even had a good run. Like, at least Marvel had a great run. They haven't had a, I think the only really strong movies that I would go back and watch again, we Force Awakens, which I did not love, but I didn't hate it either, and Rogue One. Those are the two. The rest are kind of garbage, right? And people pretending to be Star Wars, but it's not Star Wars, right? Dan says studios need to stop using smaller characters that no one wants. Ironheart, Agatha, Captain Marvel's, no thanks. Well, listen, how about the Guardians of the Galaxies? Anybody want them? Right, Dan. And Guardians of the Galaxies, was just like a one-off, kind of a fluke that it worked? Maybe it was. Maybe it was James Gunn. The power of James Gunn, the magic, the mastery of James Gunn. I don't know. He loves. I don't think the characters not being popular is the issue. I think the problem is they're not well written, and it's kind of what Justin Wu's saying, wokeness goes too far. It's turning people off. And I agree with him. I think it's not about the story. It's not about, developing great characters and great connections between the characters and relationships, and taking their time to do it. No, they're just pushing agenda after agenda. We have to have this type of a character in this movie and that type of a character in this movie and that type of a character. It's a checkbox. Okay, we have one of those types of people, one of those types of people, one of those types of people. That person represents that group. That person represents that group. Okay, we've covered all the bases. So now the movie's got to be great. No, that's not how filmmaking works, right? That's the Suits thinking that's how it works. And I can't understand how come they continually make the same mistakes over and over and over again. Dan says, we also need a more grounded Spider-Man movie that actually takes place in New York. Bring in some different villains like the Jackal. Well, that'd be kind of fun. That's the James Gunn factor. Made Peacemaker, and that's right, Peacemaker too, another nothing character, right? And I'm kind of nervous about James Gunn's Superman, man. I'm telling you, I'm kind of nervous about that too, because I think, don't get me wrong, I know he loves this stuff, but boy, there's a lot of characters going into that friggin' movie. Every time you turn around is a new character. So we'll see. But listen, am I excited about the MCU? Yes. Am I nervous? Yes, I'm very nervous. But I'll go and I'll pay my $20 for the ticket or $10 for the ticket, whatever, and pay for my overpriced popcorn and pop because I love going to the movies. But I am very apprehensive about it. I'm really nervous. The powers that be over at Disney have said that they're going to be doing more quality over quantity. That's good news, right? That's very, very good news. So let's hope they stick to that and give us and produce some really good products for us to go and enjoy. And you know what? I think it really does. Again, like I said before, it's a symbiotic relationship between our collections, our collecting of comic books, and the movies that are out there in pop culture. When things are pumping out there, things are pumping at the comic book store. I think things are always pumping at the comic book store. But when the general public are in on it as well and are really excited about it, it just makes us feel even that much more better. The other people are appreciating and loving the characters that we've all grown up with and love as well. Danon says, I got free tickets for Venom and The Last Dance from Volkswagen. I'll take a free Marvel movie all day. Of course. Well, listen, guys, you know what? I'm done in under an hour. I'm so excited. There's a book I want to go over there and work on, and then I'm going to go chill out and watch some TV and go to bed because I'm tired. Thanks so much for popping by. Guys, if you're new here, we talk comic books, we talk movies, we talk all kinds of stuff over here. Hit that subscribe button and the like button too. Feel free to share the video with any of your friends or people you think may enjoy it. I'll be back again next Tuesday, I guess, for another unboxing. I believe more are on the way. And I'll be sending out texts tomorrow to remind people that their orders are ready for pickup for this Saturday. If you're curious about one of your orders, please refer to your invoice. If it says 3 to 4 months or 4 to 5 months and we haven't hit that point yet, please be patient. Because it does take time. And like I said, we're currently into August, mid to late August books right now. We haven't hit into September yet. So, everything takes time. And the orders are starting to pick up again. So, yeah. Also, before I go, if you get a chance, go to my website, thecomicdoctor.com. There is now a new order status button. It won't work for everybody's order yet, though. It'll only work for brand new orders. or orders that are going to be worked on by Naport, Charlo, or myself as of now. So any orders that have stuck by at CGC already, they probably won't be on there. But any upcoming new submissions, if you create a submission on my website, it automatically generates an invoice number, and you can check on that one as it goes. Okay? Adam says, my JSA... Oh, sorry, my XL11 is a Bronze Age, and my Batman is a modern. Thanks, Kevin. Well, Bronze Age, what year? Is it pre-1974? 1975? If it is, then it's a different batch. It'll be a 19. It'll be. If I charged you vintage for that one and modern for that one, they're separate invoices. They'll come at different times. All right, guys, that's it for me. Have a fantastic night. We'll see you in about a week. Until then, all the best. Have a good night. There it is. Bye for now.